are now a well-fleshed-out roster, and they have been so tough to beat, just surpassing expectation time and time again.
I mean, that makes sense at this point, to be fair, because I remember looking at Night Raid Esports and being like, all right, this team has some potential. I don't know if they can necessarily crack the top, but they've got something there. Apparently, it was Kevin. So let's see, can Moonboots do something special here in game number 1 in this best of 7? Again, I know we want to say that the first couple games are so important, but evident by the last series we saw, sometimes it doesn't necessarily guarantee you any sort of win, even if you do find early momentum.
Oh, I mean, also looking at the fact that in our best of 7 matches, we have that timeout available. Every match, I think, except that last one, has been affected so massively by those timeouts. It has changed the tide of the matches every single time. And man, this is going to be interesting to see if there's going to be a dominant factor coming out the gates. It's already been a minute down. We haven't seen anything major out of either teams as far as preference could be concerned here. And it may not come down to that in this series.
I'm interested to see what it comes down to. So far here, it's been pretty even. Again, we're expecting this to be an even series, but where does that advantage lie? Seems like Moonboots are trying to find this here. They've got some decent distractions as the demos, or at least attempts at demos, develop in Ned. Kevin, all he can do is get a decent touch out of the corner. No shot will arrive. Moonboots getting some decent pressure, but no real shots to show for it.
On the backboard, gonna come off and send this downfield, and okay, let's go. Actually, this is one of the problems that they had been facing, is these big booming clears, good for getting the ball upfield, but they need to choose the time on them. They're able to capitalize on this one, though, making good use of it here as Gon puts it away. This is good. Gon thrives off of confidence.
You can see that Rez tried to go for that one, but as Rapupi just kind of bashes into him and just makes it uncomfortable, the save never arrives, so maybe that's what's going to be the separating factor here. Okay, let's go, putting on the pressure in their first real offense of this game, and it's going to result in a goal. It could result in another offense as well. Blue out at midfield, going to play this patiently, and as Rapupi tries to go for a little bit of a demo, it will not be successful, but the offense still continuing here, and okay, let's go, starting to wake up a little bit.
Blue looking for the second, looking for the backboard. Kevin stepping up in defense yet again. He has been so good at covering multiple spots on the field. He seems to be everywhere, and he has been doing exactly what's needed, even when he's not the star player to talk about. Now, again, just making crucial touches, but the touch isn't good enough. It doesn't hold Blue back. It's a 2-0 game, and okay, LETSGO are very strong out of the gate. However, we've seen this before from them.
I mean, this is beyond strong out of the gate. Not only are they getting this pressure on repeat here, it's methodical pressure. They only have 3 shots throughout this game, and they've held Moonboots to 0 shots so far. So it's very clear. Okay, let's go. Come into this one a little bit hotter than their opponents, but I don't expect it to stay this way. Moonboots need to wake up. I have a feeling they'll get into the series, but the question is when?
And it's interesting, actually, because, okay, LETSGO, like I was talking about, they went away and they had kind of a bit of a plan from the coach to get them back into a bit of a more consistent state of mind. Like you said, this is repeatable. This is methodical. They have a plan and they're acting on it right now. This is what we wanted to see out of Okay, LETSGO. And it could result in some fantastically consistent and high-quality Rocket League throughout this series. Right now, it's actually too high quality for Moonboots, as we are well deep into our second half of this game, and Moonboots yet to strike back. Rez right now, though, looking for the pass in, cancelled out by Rapupi, and it will have to be set up a second time.
No such luck here. With about 100 seconds left, Moonboots at this point just kind of looking for something to be that catalyst, like we've been talking about all night. It really does feel like once some team just finds that pop-off play, something to turn it around for them, they can really start to run with that and just get momentum in their favor. But momentum not going to be found. What instead will be found is Rapupi with their first goal.
The momentum is sent upfield with Rapupi's first touch and finished off with the second. Hirio was the star player of yesterday, I think, pretty much across the board, really. Even when they were losing, Hirio going absolutely off and is not able to carry them right this second out of this hole. I mean, at one point yesterday, I believe, Hirio scored 4 times back-to-back the only 4 goals of Moonboots in the game, and they won that by 1 goal. So talk about a carry. He is capable of it. Rez right now, the one firing on net, though, and they're just not getting through. Okay, let's go with this consistency showing up for them right this second.
Just not able to do anything, really. It just kind of feels like Moonboots are getting decent pressure, getting I don't know, the ability to do something, but when it comes time for them to really do something with their offense, they just don't show up here. And with 45 seconds left, I have to imagine they're looking for at least a goal for the road, because I hate to say it, Gex, but this game is out of hand. The best they can do here is just find something to give them some confidence.
I think OK Let's Go was probably the only team. Oh, what a shot on target, blocked away by Kevin. One more shot from Blue, doesn't make it in. And like I was saying, I think OK Let's Go was probably the only team from day 2 that made it through that was showing inconsistency as bad as they were showing that. They just had such high peak performance that it managed to bring them through there. And this is what's so interesting about this first regional back into the winter split. After all of the changes and everything, we're looking for solidity out of these rosters. They are changed rosters, and the faster the teams have been able to get into that solid kind of state, the faster they've been able to make wins like this. OK Let's Go seems to have found it, but we have to see that throughout the series, not just game 1, a 3-0 win for them.
Yeah, we need to see something that's just, like you said, consistency. Something that's a little bit more stable here, because OK Let's Go, I will agree, this is a very impressive performance for them, but it just doesn't feel like they've been challenged yet. I want to see what happens when Moonboots finally gets into this game, because as much as Moonboots did start to have a little bit better of a second half, they were held to 2 shots total throughout that game. 2 players on the team for OK Let's Go had that total by themselves. Rapoopy actually had 3 by themselves. So at this point, it's starting to seem like Moonboots are getting into this one, but they need something to go in their favor. Like we've been talking about all night, catalysts are something that are crucial for these squads. And if Moonboots do not find one, I don't know if they're going to be able to really survive in the series.
You know, it's interesting. I think the 3 teams that were probably the closest in this entire tournament, or at least on paper going into this, would have been Slot Machine and OK Let's Go. And there was so much talk about the 3 of them being a very, very tough, top 8 there. And it's not proved to be that point for Slot Machine, but OK Let's Go are becoming it now. So I want to see OK Let's Go going to that same quality as AHA, and if they can do that, AHA was able to take down Moonboots 4-2. That's kind of a little bit what this series is looking to me like it could be so far, but we have to see.
I think at this point, we're going to have a good contest here. The question is whether or not it's going to be a sort of stunt show here for OK Let's Go as it continues to be Blue with an immediate goal, or are we going to see a back and forth? I'll be honest, not going to be upset if we just keep seeing goals like this. What a flick. Oh, I didn't see that, though.
Yeah, no, not ideal, but, coming home very, very well there. It's definitely ideal for OK Let's Go. But, I was saying to you in the break, actually, that Moonboots have been able to hold a lead, but they've also been able to come back from deficits, which a lot of the teams in the region have had a struggle doing. Now they're in a deficit for the series. A goal like that's a good way to come back from that 1-goal deficit they started on this match, and it's a good lead back into the series as well.
It's also their first goal of this entire series as well, and I cannot overemphasize how important that is for a team that seemingly did not have confidence. So I'm glad to see that they're back into this one. Tying up this game very early means that they do not allow their opponents to run away and gain extra momentum. But can it mean momentum in favor of the team that is still the underdogs going into this one? Again, as much as Moonboots have impressed us throughout this regional, their top results in the last split were not all too impressive. So OK Let's Go, a little bit more familiar with the territory that they're in right now, but maybe Moonboots, oh my word, can get some offense together and find some comfort as we approach the second minute of this game.
OK Let's Go seem to have slowed down a little bit, actually. Probably going for a similar playstyle, but they are just that little bit slower. Blue, again, beaten out there quite handily, and Rapoopy getting bumped away from that ball before reaching it at all. There's a lot of ball control here from the side of Moonboots, but they have to be able to convert off of it, and right now it's a little bit slow across pace in both directions.
It does kind of feel like we're still in that bit of methodical playstyle, the feeling out period. Game 1 we thought would be that, but to be fair, Moonboots never really got that opportunity to feel out their opponents, so I guess they're just going to do that here in game number 2. The good thing is that 90 seconds into it, neither one of these teams has found themselves too much of an advantage. We'll say, okay, let's go. I've got a good offense building here, but the defense definitely a lot stronger for Moonboots.
Well, it's interesting that you say that Moonboots didn't get the chance to feel out their opponents, because it was Moonboots that didn't play at their best there either, and sorry, not Okay, Let's Go still might have to challenge that, because we're not seeing it yet either. That shot taken on a fairly well set up net, but 2 defenders there up in the air, missing opportunities to put that away into safety.
Again, communication really has been a little bit of a detriment of some of these teams here tonight. Double commits have unfortunately been kind of commonplace, so we got to see something change at this point. With about 3 minutes remaining, I have a feeling that Moonboots are going to start playing a little bit more carefully. They've been passive so far, but passive is one thing. Careful is another. They need to find that middle ground. Ride that line carefully, because Hirio, again, pushes up a little bit too far, and that's what leads to this exposure. And okay, let's go now. A chance to possibly put in the dagger here in game number 2.
Love that from Okay, Let's Go. Not only charging towards the ball, but through it to the bump, trying to get those centers off. Hasn't paid off just yet. They are up 1 in this series and game now as well. They don't need anything too desperately at this point, but you never want to be only on a 1-goal buffer. You always look for that at least 2-goal buffer, don't you?
Yeah, you gotta look for just a little bit of a safety net. Is that gonna be the safety net? No, Rez is gonna make the save. Is there gonna be a follow-up?
Oh, the bump.
That is brilliant. We've gotta highlight this play. I'm sorry to just sort of break this one down, but notice how Blue could have gone for the shot there. It would have been a risky one. Instead, he just disrupts the defense. Dude, okay, let's go. Beyond impressive right now.
Yeah, and I mean, that's impressive whether Rez was getting to that save or not, because that decision-making is, like we were talking about before, repeatable. It is something they can do to form consistency in their plays. If you know that you've got somebody willing to open up that net, you have more confidence in your team and ability to go forward to make the shot. So a very, very well calculated play there from Okay, Let's Go is just, again, proving that they've gone away from yesterday and come back a different team.
It's impressive. I have nothing else to say, but I am impressed right now. The last game was a little bit of chaos on both sides, and we were waiting to see a little bit of a calm down here. The calm down happened in the next series. It's Okay, Let's Go, just with absolute execution on everything that they do. Look at that. Raboop in the corner has 0 boost in his tank. So what does he do? Just be a nuisance. Don't allow Moonboots a quick transition, and now all of a sudden, it's right back to another offense for Okay, Let's Go. They are playing this one, I'm not going to say picture perfect, but the plan that they are executing on right now, it is beautiful to watch.
And I still am waiting to see that speed out of Okay, Let's Go that we know they're capable of. Okay, Let's Go even able to outspeed 3 rats yesterday at times. They are one of the fastest teams on the pitch for all of Asia. And right now they're not really being forced to it. I don't expect to see it out of them, while Moonboots isn't pushing the game to that level, really.
That's the big thing, is it just kind of feels like Moonboots need to put some more pressure on their opponents. We're not seeing them at their full potential. We talked about this in the last series, how it took 2 games for 3 rats to get to their full potential. And speaking of full potential, apparently the defense has found it, but Moonboots need more than that. With 30 seconds left, getting at least a goal for the road and keeping this close is going to be crucial for your squad.
That crossbar hates Okay, Let's Go in particular. if we're talking about yesterday, it has a grudge for them. I don't know what they did, whose mother they insulted. It's definitely a grudge from that crossbar, but they've been able to conquer it with a 2-goal lead here, and as the clock ticks down, it looks like a fairly confident win here. 2nd time in a row in this series, and that is a very, very good start into this. Look, it's going to be a timeout, but it's actually, I'm on the fence over whether they should be doing that, because Moonboots hasn't even developed a heat to let cool off.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is a hard one because
It's
it does
tough.
kind of feel like Moonboots probably could have gotten themselves back into this one had they played a little bit, but also at the same time, it could be that their mentality is already so down in the dumps that their coach is like, no, we're taking a second and we're getting you guys out of this one, because that can happen. If you do have two pretty brutal losses in a row, it can be difficult to try and get yourself back into it naturally. So maybe the coach right now is just saying, let's just take a couple minutes, not necessarily focus on the gameplay, but just get you guys back into this one mentally, because that really is such an important factor as well here, Gex.
Yeah, I look at the series that Moonboots had last, beating out Slot Machine, that as I was saying, was one of those teams that we were talking about being so close to OK, Let's Go. OK, Let's Go coming out so much more dominant, I would say, than Slot Machine looked in that series. It's surprising to me because it does reflect on the entirety of Asia and where these teams kind of fit into a power rankings. It's going to be very, very hard to do that up.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a really difficult sort of read here of the entire region after this first regional. I think that that's just kind of what it is, though, is that people recognize that the top dogs, quote unquote, formed themselves in that first split. And then all of a sudden, in literally every single region at this point, they've gone, all right, it's time for us to challenge that. We saw it in OCE. We're seeing it in North America. We're seeing it here in APAC South as well. And I got to hope that Moonboots can recognize that they are a team that could make that challenge. They just need to believe in themselves because, like we said, they look a lot, I don't know, too passive right now, a little bit too hesitant, and as a result, they have a lackluster offense that just isn't putting the pressure on OK, Let's Go.
I mean, regardless of who makes it in here, we've already seen this second split. Like, first split, we had a very tough to beat top 4, I would say. This time, that top 8 is going to be very, very hard to break into. Our top 8 is tight here, but Moonboots aren't showing us why. We've seen so much better out of them, and I do expect to see more out of them. They are a team, they are one of the teams yesterday that benefited so much from these timeouts. So as much as, you know, they do need to get warmth into them, they need to really get into the flow of gameplay here. I don't think that this has been a bad choice from them this timeout, and hopefully they've really had something to work on and fix this.
Let's hope that they can fix it. Let's hope that they can give us a good back and forth, because if Moonboots lose this one, unfortunately for them, they're staring down the barrel as OK, Let's Go. We'll move on to match point and only need a single game to take this one. Again, that's what makes the reverse sweep so hard in a best of 7. It's not the ability to get 4 games against your opponent. It's doing that in a row, because if you slip up for a single game, that's the end of the series.
Well, they are absolutely in the hurt right now, but some good control here from Moonboots at this midfield line could bring them out of it. Unfortunately, they're beaten out back and get a little bit lucky there that they're able to rotate back into defense in time. Was an open net opportunity for a moment. Now the pinch across, nobody there. They're playing that kind of 2-back playstyle right now, and they need to develop some offense. They need to develop some aggression, and then off of that form confidence. That's not how you do that. Rapupi just going around every defender on field.
Okay, I mean, listen, it's not going to develop confidence for them. It'll develop confidence for OK, Let's Go. What a shot. Rapupi dismantling the entirety of that defense by himself. And now a minute into this one, I'm starting to fear for the worst here, Gex. Moonboots, we said they needed to have a bit of a response after that timeout, and oh boy, no such response showing so far here.
No, but it's good to see out of OK, Let's Go that they didn't let that timeout kind of take any heat off of themselves. They have been able to continue that ball rolling, and their mental attitude is exactly the same as where they left it before that break. Now, coming in just as strong again, they're at 1 up here. Plenty of time in this game, and want to see more out of Moonboots. It's coming down to Gone again. A shot across net. This time will be Rez's to take away.
Again, decent pressure here building from OK, Let's Go, and this is not what we want to see, or at least I would say if you're a fan of Moonboots, it's not what you want to see right now. As a fan of what could be a full best of 7, I'm hoping that we see a response here out of Moonboots, but they just haven't had the necessary amount of pressure here. 4 total shots in favor of their opponents. Finally, they do get one, and they will have a follow-up. Is it in? Yes, indeed. Hirio to break the drought and get the first response for Moonboots.
Hirio had to be the man to pick the team up last time. He's done it again here, at least with 1 goal. evening things up now. 3 minutes on the dot left here, and that's plenty of time for both teams right now, but Moonboots have to make advantage of this situation. I don't think they've actually been up with 3 minutes left in a game this series so far.
Unfortunately not. The question is whether or not they can continue with this pressure and find that advantage, though. I'd like to think so. With about half the game remaining, they are by far looking the strongest they have so far this series. Decent passing plays developing, and despite the fact that none of them turn into a shot, they've still got the pressure building. Off the backboard here, shot not gonna arrive. Hirio dives in, but denied by the defense. But there's those bold plays we were looking for, Gex.
Absolutely, and finally some pressure out of Moonboots, not just aggression. We've seen aggression out of them momentarily. Finally, they were able to hold something for a little while. Now back on the defense again, but probably the worry of that defensive side of things maybe lessened just that little bit by the way that Moonboots are playing right now. They've picked up the pace, they've picked up the passing, and they've had that pressure now. We know that they can do that again.
I know that they can do it again. The question is whether or not they can do that within the next 2 minutes here. It does feel like OK, Let's Go are starting to get some offense, but all of a sudden they're retreating into defense. A single player back where Poopy has to make the save, and he'll do exactly that. He might even set up his teammate. Oh. He's not going to be able to. Both of them go for the ball, but OK, Let's Go. Like we said, when they have confidence on offense, it really shows.
Love some of these camera angles we're getting from our spectator there as well. That big view upfield. We saw some good stuff out of Kevin getting upfield for an upfield pass, but it's Rapoopy that's able to take the shot here. And once again, Moonboots are going to be on the back foot.
Moonboots, unfortunately, it just kind of feels like every time they've got a chance to take that advantage, to get them in the winner's seat here, to just sort of the driver's seat to get this one going, they unfortunately fall a little bit behind. I don't know what it is in particular here, Gex. Maybe you can help me out, but there's some sort of advantage, the key to victory, if you will, here for OK, Let's Go. And I'm not sure exactly what it is in particular. Maybe it's just the goal-scoring abilities. Third game in a row that OK, Let's Go pick up their third.
I'm not sure exactly what the winning factor here is, but I can tell you what the different factor from yesterday is. OK, Let's Go is playing with so much confidence in themselves and in their team. They are just making everything work, particularly Gon. He was suffering, finally won back though. Hirio, again, it's always got to be Hirio to the rescue here. He's our hero, if you would. I'm very sorry about that one, actually. I regret that one immediately. But Moonboots needs a hero, and Hirio is stepping up. He has before. They just need to work off of that. They need to be built up from it.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I was going to make that joke if you didn't make that joke. So, you know, a little bit fair on that one. Instead, I'll make a different one at this point, because guess what? Hirio might be the star-studded striker, but someone needs to wake up Hirio, if you will, and that is Rez. He's got 2 assists for his team right now. He has been that assist maker, so maybe he can resurrect this team and get them back into this one, because with 40 seconds left, they need to tie this. If they lose this game, Gex, that's 3 in favor of OK, Let's Go. All they need is a single game, and that's the end of the series. But
they've only got 30 seconds to even this up. There are only 1 down. They can do this if they are playing like the Moonboots we've seen. It's taken away again. They are on the attack, though. The clear comes out from Gon. It's a pass to Rapoopy. Has to be in. What a save from Kevin. 10 seconds to get this upfield and make the conversion. Now, it has to happen. Kevin is on that backboard. They're letting their opponents fire. There's no challenge to this. 0 seconds is upon them, and it's going to reach ground. OK, Let's Go are on match point, looking for the sweep.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know what just happened. OK, Let's Go. It's a great way to shut out the game. You put on the pressure, but I expected someone from Moonbots to make a risking challenge. Fly into the air, try and keep that one up. Instead, it hits the ground, and all of a sudden, Moonboots now really in the worst case scenario here. They are down by 3 single games in a row. And despite the fact that they've been able to get closer and closer every time, it still feels like the advantage is in favor of OK, Let's Go.
Well, of course it is. Look at those shots. 12 out of just Rapoopy and Gone Blue getting to himself compared to 5 total from Moonboots. They just cannot get an aggression on that turns into shots. Even when they were forming that pressure, it was so tough. Hirio only got 2 shots and he converted on both of them. So they do have hope here. However, now it's going to be very, very tough for Moonboots to make the comeback. They're going to have to be the second team ninth team ever in RLCS to make a full reverse sweep in a best of 7.
I mean, I want to say it's possible. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be this Moonboots squad, who have already exceeded expectations tenfold. But the difficulty is that I just don't think OK Let's Go are volatile enough right now. We've been talking about how much consistency really wins games for these teams, and how much it especially matters here in APAC South, where consistency has been a struggle. This is the most consistent I've seen a team play. OK Let's Go, by far, just understand what they need to do right now.
Of course, the 8th best of 7 reverse sweep in RLCS was taken out by APAC South in the last split as well. I believe it was Azure, but you're absolutely right. There's just something missing here, and we've seen what it was before. It's hard to kind of put your finger on that X factor for Moonboots, but they've been able to claw back so much in games that seemed impossible to win. They have to be able to do it in a series right now, and that's not how you want it to happen. Mistakes on both sides, though, and still an even and empty scoreline here. Hirio with the musty nearly sends it home. Blue just in time.
Oh, Hirio really trying to live up to his name, trying to be that hero, and Kevin trying to also do that. Unfortunately, he is not going to find too much admiration for that one, unlike his friend the Pickle from SpongeBob. But you know what? It's okay. He can be just as famous as that person as well, or I guess not person, Pickle, whatever you want to call it at this point, because he has shown up so far in this regional. Despite not necessarily being a household name, he might as well be one after this regional.
Pickles are people too. I'm going to start a Twitter trend against you. It's Pickles are people too. Yeah, just go and get that trending, everybody. But Hirio now on this again. They have been better this game. Off the bat, they seemed to kind of find confidence out of nowhere, Moonboots. And now they're looking for it again. Rez actually using some of the mechanics that Rez and Hirio are known for. Kevin needs to be able to back them up. He's in a good position and pacing himself well. The pass comes out. Rez hammers it home. They're up for the first time, and it's off a great passing play.
I mean, to be honest, Rez at some point was due for this one. He had 2 assists the last game, and he said, I'm sick of setting you guys up. It's time for me to put a shot on target. Slams that one into the back of the net, and all of a sudden, with 3 minutes remaining, Moonboots, like you said, find their first lead, and what an important one it is.
129 KPH. They're warming up to what we saw out of them last night. I think we saw about 5 goals over 140 last night, which is absolutely insane, just off of passing plays and fantastic reads off of the defense. So looking like a better Moonboots right now. However, they have let themselves get into a very difficult position. Can they make this reverse sweep off of this one first point into the right direction as we approach half-time in what could be the absolute last match of this series if they don't make it work?
I have to imagine they can. This is already such a completely different scoreline than before. Again, to give you guys just sort of the understanding of how much domination has been here for OK Let's Go, this would be the first game they do not score 3 goals in. They've scored 3 goals in every single game, and well, they're back on track to do that again. Blue gonna find the first goal here for OK Let's Go.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, a minute 15 per goal to get back onto that 3-goal scoreline. I don't think that there's going to be any issue there for OK Let's Go to be able to get on top of that. But look, this is finally the OK Let's Go that we have been waiting for as well. The consistency has been there all series, given it hasn't really been pushed to the edge. Their mental game here, gone. Oh, the shot was on target, blocked away brilliantly by Rez. He has to make a second save as well. And now Hirio looking for the pass upfield to Kevin, almost getting a second touch to it as the defense sent it back forward. But now Kevin has to make a very crucial touch. He was actually the last man back, and he was at midfield as the opponents were advancing on that. So an important one, absolutely crucial to making sure they can get back up in this Ooh, what? Look, I want to say this is the penultimate game. I think that at least Moonboots have to get one out of this, right? These teams on paper should have been matched perfectly, and they're letting in this. Rapoopy, though, what skill to make it happen. Just getting it around his opponents again.
Oh, that's just filth. That's just not right. Oh, come on, man. We don't condone bullying here on stream, but apparently we
Yes,
do
we
when
do.
it's a shot like that. I have to give credit where it's due, though. Like you said, this shouldn't be a game where Moonboots are, not in it to this degree, but I don't think it's because Moonboots aren't playing well. It's all credit due to OK, Let's Go. This is a phenomenal performance. Again, for a region that has really been looking for consistency throughout it, the fact that we're seeing this much consistency from a team that, in my opinion, wasn't even top 3 last, last split, this is nuts.
Yeah, we don't condone bullying of anybody but Hyperia today, and, Boyo sometimes. Hey, look at specific situations gone! The shot on! This might secure it away, less than a minute left, and this passing play is brilliant. I mean, whether they're forced to make plays like this or not, they're making them, and the quality coming out of OK, Let's Go is on display today.
I mean, dude, I don't know how much more we can further emphasize how impressive of a performance this is. To sort of give you guys the understanding of why we're saying that it's OK, Let's Go as a whole that's impressing us, that goal made it so that every single player on their team now has a goal here in this game. They're continuing with that 3-goal trend, but again, in the trend fashion, Moonboots getting back to where they could possibly also get a 3rd goal. That would continue with a 1-goal extra a game.
Yeah, I mean, when you're under that 30-second mark, there's a lot of pressure on you. 45 seconds. It's surprising how much of a relief that extra 15 can be here. They've definitely got a good spot, and Kevin makes the shot. It's just not enough speed on it. Rapoopy down the field. They have to make the play now to not be swept. Something I did not think I would be saying out of this series today. Kevin now underneath this, bumped as well. The opportunity is available. It's going to come off the post. Rez is there and waiting. Can he make the play? No, it's a miss. Entirely blue, looking for the backboard. No, it's blocked away by Kevin.
Dude, you've been talking about Kevin's defensive abilities. You talked about it before we even came into the series, and he has proven that. But now it's time for everyone on Moonboots to prove they've got some offense as well. 5 seconds left. They need a goal just to tie this up and force an overtime. As Gone spikes this down, there is no such luck. OK, Let's Go with their 4th game in a row and their 4th game with 3 goals. Consistency is king gets, and OK, Let's Go seem to understand that.